All right, let's go ahead and continue on. We're on item number 7, which is comments from council members. Oh, Mr. Salazar.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm not big on the council comments, but I did have something I wanted to share. So this...
Hold on just for a sec. We'll just...
Wait till we clear the room.
Yes, please. Thank you. Okay, thanks.
So something I wanted to share. This past weekend, I completed the CERT program here in San Bruno. And for those who don't know, CERT stands for the Community Emergency Response Team. And it's a 6-week program that's put on by the San Bruno Fire Department. And it trains residents in how to react to emergency situations in the city. It goes through a lot of different scenarios, different modules that are come from something that was compiled by FEMA, and so it does address a lot of different issues, and concludes on a Saturday with some practical hands-on exercises, and it was a really interesting and worthwhile program, I believe. And so I wanted to commend Chief Cresta and his staff on putting together a really excellent program. I thought it was extremely valuable and a lot of fun. So please pass along my thanks and appreciation to the staff, Chief. And this is a program that does happen periodically, so there will be more opportunities for anyone who's interested to participate in this. So if you keep an eye out, it gets posted on social media, and the word gets out there. And Rico was there at the last day when they were handing out the certificates, and he actually shared some thoughts. He was very eloquent in sharing some thoughts on what our experience has been here in San Bruno in response to the Glenview explosion, and how we saw firsthand the value of volunteers in emergency situations. And in that case, we did have a lot of professional assistance that responded to our tragedy, but there was still a lot of volunteers that showed up, and having a trained volunteer cadre in the city is very, very important. And one thing that's stressed throughout the training, and something Rico brought up as well, is that in a larger emergency, we may be on our own for a while, and having residents able to take care of themselves and their neighbors and help support the professional emergency personnel is going to be critical. So I highly recommend it. Keep an eye out for the next class, and thanks again to Chief for the program.
I have a couple of comments. Number one, it's interesting that a comment was made earlier tonight about the pathway leading from El Camino to here. And I know that we haven't brought this up at our subcommittee meetings, but it's been a comment that's been made by my sister, and I try to keep family comments nice comment, but I don't really bring them up. But as I think about it more often, I've attended funeral receptions here. We've come up from St. Robert's, et cetera. There's never enough parking in this lot, et cetera. That it would be nice if we can somehow incorporate some sort of better pathway leading from El Camino to here, since it is a public facility, and we are looking to get more transit-oriented and get people to show up and attend. A comment was made by Councilmember Medina about, if you have issues, come here to a meeting, attend, voice your opinions, voice your concerns. So I don't know what that costs or what that's about, but if there's something that can be looked at or thought about, because it is difficult to leave here tonight through the trees, through the dark. It's not necessarily a really safe thing that I would prefer to do. Something that's a little bit more well lit. And so since we're in the process of redesigning the building and probably going to be touching that support of the gym rec building, maybe sidewalk is something that would be a benefit. So that's my comment.
Yes, thank you. I just want to remind people, I hope you can get a shot of this, that you received your community service activity guide. It's extremely informational, and it has about Operation Clean Sweep. It has about a grant that the city has received for people having applying for free street trees that they don't have to plant. Somebody else will plant it for them. It has about Community Day in the Park, which is June 2nd. It's our 79th Posey Parade, which we'll be talking about more, I'm sure, later on. But if you see this in the mail, don't throw it away. Save it for until the next one comes. That's my end of that.
It's great when we get a comment from the public where it's really an important safety situation, and I'm driving all the way up all the time, driving at night and driving up to these meetings, and it never occurred to me to think that people would try to walk along there. But so definitely wanted to support Councilmember Davis in having us look forward into some pathway and some signage that direct people to the safe way of to the park. So thank you.
Through the chair.
Oh, Michael, go ahead.
I was going to follow up on that because I think that is important. Getting people here safely is important. But then I was also looking at a proposed new community hall in the new rec center, and wondering if maybe we could build in a new council chambers there.
I was just told, since everybody else spoke, I should say something. But I will tell you, there was I forget what Friday it was. I happened to be at City Hall, was talking to the Deputy City Clerk, and this gentleman, Wesley, came in. Very nice gentleman, had drove all the way from San Francisco to come in, and he knew somebody who managed an apartment building and had a tenant who had passed. The family came in to take out what they chose. And they left back a couple of yearbooks, 1962, 1963 Cappuccino. And it was his desire, he held them, but he didn't want to just see them discarded. So he brought them down and said, I happened to be standing there and I didn't jump up right away. He said, can I see the mayor? And so Vicky paused, didn't turn and said, he's right there. Said, but I have something for him, but it's all good, don't worry. So he brought it up and I said, well, you know what, come on in. So he came in and he gave me the history of the family, the two brothers that did attend there, the lady who had passed, and she was in drama, and just the history and going through. And oddly enough, I went through some of the faculty, and there were a couple of the teachers that I had when I went to Cappuccino. But for him to come all the way down, I thought it was interesting. And very nice to drive all the way from San Francisco just to bring that history so that we can look back as we look forward. And I think the comedy, since it's been a long night, was that he asked, we're in San Bruno, are we not? I said, yeah, we are. And he says, okay, has there been another mayor? And he just kept, he was struggling, so he kind of looked at it and he says, I looked up San Bruno mayor and I went to San Bruno Patch. So I was looking for Robert Reichel. And so when I saw you, I thought, okay, something's wrong. So anyway, he expected to see Robert, but he saw Rico. But needless to say, it was very kind of him, and it was very interesting. I have those. I'm going to read some of the stuff. It's really intriguing to go back those years and kind of see Cappuccino back then. So anyway, with that said, we will go ahead and adjourn to our next regular scheduled meeting of April the 23rd at 7 o'clock right here at the Senior Center. Meeting adjourned.